know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get the dashing because you done on the warfare.
Chief Concerns is presented by BetOnline and Olipop. Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns, and ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year. It's football season, and you know what that means? It means it's time to get in on BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. Come on, baby. Go. Yes. That's a first down. That's a first down. This football season, I'll be putting down normal sodas like Coca-Cola for Olipop. Olipop offers a healthier alternative with its low sugar content and natural ingredients. Olipop is more than just a drink. It's a wellness companion that supports your digestive health. Packed with prebiotics, this fizzy elixir helps promote good bacteria in your gut, leading to improved digestion and overall well-being. So go ahead, click the link in the description and use promo code SODALOVE and get your can of Olipop so you can enjoy the game guilt-free. Go Chiefs. Use the promo code SODALOVE for 15% off now. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End on your Monday evening. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn. JD, how are we doing, brother?
What's going down, Marcus? How you doing, my brother? You doing all right? Doing all right?
Just battling a little bit of a cold, which I don't know, you guys have probably noticed over the last week. You guys seen with tissues, just my voice is obviously a little different, but yeah, I was battling a little bit of a cold. I hear some walking pneumonias going around. I hope I don't have that, but yeah, I'm all right. I'm coming out. I'm gonna come out of this stronger. So the Chiefs are gonna come out of yesterday stronger, JD. So I'm gonna pull through.
Well, good, man. Listen, go get you something boost your immune system up, like you said, and hope everything's going to be fine. And they're walking pneumonia. You don't want that to happen, man. I had actually a great niece that actually just came from the hospital, and that's what she had. She had pneumonia, just kind of thinking about it. So one thing, man, especially during this season, you got to take care of yourself as much as possible. Wash your hands, all the things that, we need to do. When we're going anywhere, anything you touch, man, keep you some hand sanitizer. Look, I keep me some hand sanitizer on me everywhere I go. In my car. When I go out to eat, I put it on my pocket. I just, after all the craziness, man, with the whole pandemic, look, I'm gonna put some on my hands just now. I ain't nobody else been in here but me.
Just thinking about it.
I just, you start coughing and stuff, and I start doing that just automatically. So, but no, listen, look, you absolutely right, and I think we'll sanitize our palate from that loss yesterday. Obviously, we didn't play to the capability that we're playing. And for me, man, when I break down this film, I go through each and every group. Okay. If you're just kind of joining us at this moment, and what I've been doing too is kind of grading the coaches as far as like what we think, as far as like what they were, putting in the scheme wise, what was fitting. We're going to kind of go through all of it, man, and get to it. And I'm not going to talk y'all to death. Okay. I'm not, I know we do a long show, Marcus, and I know you like speaking about these things, man, and I love speaking about it. But I think we're just going to get down to the nitty gritty, talking about what the Chiefs, what they've seen yesterday, what we need to do going forward. I think Andy and those guys pretty much answered it. They're going to have the answers better than we're going to have it. But I'm just going to go from my eyes, being an NFL football player, being a coach, things that I've seen out there that I think we need to discuss a little bit. But it's not. Hey, this ain't Chicken Little. Sky is not falling. And what I seen all yesterday was the knee jerk reaction to everything, and this guy right here sucks, and is it and I was just like, we can be so emotionally tied to things that if something don't go our way, then it's almost like the world is crumbling. And I'm just not that way. As a football player, you can't be that way. You just can't. You got to have an absolute balance to what do you see, what goes on, and then you just got to move forward. You got to put the work in. You got to put the effort. You got to just make corrections where you can to get better. And here's the thing, though. Buffalo Bills was a very talented team. Okay, they won the game yesterday, but it was the Chiefs that beat themselves. That's what it was. That's what ended up happening. The Bills played a good game, but the Chiefs, because of miscommunication, being out of position, missing tackles, turnovers, penalties, those things that you just can't do against a good team will get you beat. And that's what ended up happening up there in Buffalo yesterday against these guys. Now, all I've seen today, every time I turn on the TV, Josh Allen's the best quarterback in football, and all the Bills they're going to win the championship, and Patrick Mahomes have gotten beat by Josh Allen during the regular season, but he's beaten him in the playoffs. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Facts, everybody got opinion about certain things, but I will say this, even if, let's say Patrick Mahomes not playing his best, okay, there's different reasons about what's going on with that, okay, that we can kind of get into. Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in football. I'm sorry. You can say right now at this moment, week 10 or 11, he's the best quarterback now. Is that a 2-week span all year? How does that work itself out? What I do know is this, okay? That man, PM15, okay, has won 2 Super Bowls in a row, going on the 3rd this year. So if I had to do anything, if I'm putting all my money and betting all my marbles, okay, and all my coins, all right, and all my dollars, I'm putting it on PM15 and it's Kansas City Chiefs team. That's what I'm gonna go. That's what I'm gonna do. So, hey, everybody could go ahead and pat Josh Allen and Lamar and all those guys on their back. And hey, you did a great job beating the Chiefs. Okay, fine. That's all right. Good. Well done. Like you said, Travis Kelce gave a little golf clap. Oh, okay, good. No problem. Hey, you lose with this experience that you get, you only learn through loss sometimes. And I think the Chiefs needed this. They needed that little wake-up call to see some of the glaring things and issues that's been going on these past few weeks. But I think this right here, they're going to be better for it. I know they'll be better for it, okay? And like Andy said, he knows he has the staff. He knows he has the teams, get those things done. And I don't doubt any of that right now whatsoever. So we still the best team in football, right? Plenty of people wanted to see us fail. They wanted to see it. They wanted to see it crash. And it's almost sometimes our fans also, too, is pulling their hair out. Was like, oh, my God, what? Hey, relax, chill out. Just chill a little bit, okay? Everything's going to be fine. But we're going to talk about all the bad stuff, though, too, Marcus.
Yeah, like we said yesterday, we're gonna do the grade show today. Talk about the game, then put it away, and then we're on to Carolina. We're on to the East Coast.
Yeah, that's it. So before we get started, man, let me make a shout out to all our people that came in here to go see us today, tonight. Witchy Hall, I'm the Brown, Vegas Chief Kingdom, G Pick, I'm About Time, Kevin Mars, Andre Chenault, King Mo, John Clifford, Mike Brennan. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Lewis Cutberg. What's up, Lewis? Lewis is in here. I know Lewis got some good stuff for us. Wendy's in there. How you doing, Wendy? Neff, Chad, Word. What's up, Neff? Good to see you. Good to see you like always. But we better get it down to the nitty gritty, man. We're going to talk about all of this. Things that we've seen for the Chiefs, some of the problems and the issues, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss all of it. Okay, so if you're just joining us right now, I'm going to get in here and start running my mouth a little bit. So, Marcus, man, hey, man, let's go ahead and get this thing started.
All right, let's do it. Before we do that, I just want to make it known to everybody. We've had a lot of you guys have come in and done a really great job, giving us reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Again, please help us spread the word of our show. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and anywhere you guys do get your podcasts. If you guys listen to us sometimes, and if you don't, if you guys are just YouTubers, definitely help us out and just go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. It'll help amplify our voice to more people in the Chiefs kingdom to come see us. And then maybe we'll get more people on our YouTube channel. And Wednesday, we got a special surprise for you guys, a special holiday season giveaway thing. We're going to be coming to you guys that'll kind of be tied into the whole review process. So if you have given a review and you have subscribed to us, we'll be throwing some goodies your way for the holiday season. So 'tis the season of giveaways, JD.
Yeah, absolutely. Christmas comes early. Christmas comes early. I'm all about it, baby. I'm all about it. So.
But all right, let's get into the nitty gritty. It's great time, everybody, and everyone's been waiting for this since yesterday. But let's get after it, baby.
So I tell you what, right before we get into just Patrick, I'll just give you some of the things that I just saw. Okay, offensively, I think we're going to be fine. I think with Patrick Mahomes at the helm, we're in a very good place. Okay, we have some very talented guys that's on the offensive side of the ball. Kareem Hunt, Steele, P. Ryan, Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, D-Hop, Juju, Worthy. You can go up and down. Hardman, Watson. We got guys. We got plenty of them. We better get Pacheco back too. So that's a great thing. But I think yesterday we didn't necessarily do a good job putting our guys in a position to make plays. I think that sometimes some of the play calling was a little suspect, especially in the situation that we were, some of the plays that was called. Like we started doing a lot of passing at a second and short, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, and we were passing the football as opposed to handing off to 28, Kareem Hunt. This should have been a heavy dose of Kareem Hunt football this week. Should have. And if Kareem Hunt couldn't have been toting the rock, we could have gave it to Steele or P. Ryan. Okay. And I said this. I said if those guys, okay, had their hands on the ball a little bit more, it's a different ball game. Same thing with D-Hop and also Travis Kelce. I believe that too. And so I know we were trying to call their plays. And like Andy said, when those guys are getting double teamed or bracketed and other guys open, and we've seen that. And one thing I had to say, I'm gonna go ahead and give his flowers right now. Just give him an attaboy, man. Is Xavier Worthy, and we needed to see a heavy dose too. This was kind of a look that we've seen of a game when you get a heavy dose of an Xavier Worthy. I've been waiting to see something like this, okay, because of his capability, because of his speed. And so it's very important that we kind of get him established, especially before you get into the playoffs, getting comfortable and whatnot. The throw that Patrick had made to Xavier Worthy when he kind of stepped out of bounds, I say that's on both of them. Patrick probably could let the ball go a little bit earlier. If you've seen him, he took an extra step that he probably didn't need to take before he aired it out. Xavier Worthy, same thing. As a young guy, he's got to learn how to drag that toe. He's got to be able to drag his foot, and he'll get to that place. If we're that far away, Marcus, from being just that great and, scoring touchdowns, then I'm good with that. I'm fine with that, okay? So I just wanted to say that offensively before we start anything talking about the quarterback grade. Now, let me go ahead and get into this, okay? Patrick in himself, he didn't play a great game. He was pressured all night. He really was. And to me, I don't care who you are as a quarterback. If you're being pressured, people breathing down your throat, it's hard to get into a rhythm of things that you need to do. Be comfortable in that pocket. And what the Bills wanted to do was they wanted to be able to disrupt him all night. Okay. And they succeeded. I'll say they succeeded. One thing that I saw, okay, and I got film to kind of show what I'm going to be talking about, but when you push the pocket, okay, we know, so let me explain how everything works. The tackles, what they do is they get the width of the pocket. That's what they establish. Okay, they establish the width of the pocket. The guards and the centers establish the depth of the pocket. And so last night they were doing a good job of pressuring us from the outside, from the width. Okay, coming back inside on our guys, and then also too they was pushing our center and our guards back as well to the depth. And so sometimes when we talking about football terms, we're talking about inches, we're talking about yards. All those things mean something. And so for a quarterback, even if a guy is like coming down your face, pressuring you in the middle, that depth of the pocket, man, that's hard for a quarterback to kind of get, the look that he wants to look. Hands get up in his face and his eyes. And that's why you seen Patrick pulling some balls down, because he was being disrupted. He was just disrupted. So some things weren't necessarily clean for Patrick. So I say a lot of what happened yesterday was because he was being pressured. That's a fact. That's a fact. But that first one he threw for, interception should have been done. He shouldn't have thrown that. And he knows that because it put our defense in a bad position, made it easier for them to score, to get points from that point right there. And you can't do that. Patrick knows that. You cannot put your defense or your team in a very vulnerable position at the very beginning of the game, especially in a place as hostile as Buffalo. You just can't do it, okay? So with that, man, it was a bad decision early. We also talked about, him missing that one to Xavier Worthy on the sideline, that he probably could have let it go earlier. But there was times that Patrick was brilliant. There was times he threw some balls that was getting in some tight windows, plays that only guys can make. But that has to go with some of the tempo and play calling to help you out and help Patrick out too. But I don't think this was even close to remotely to a good game for him. I think it was just decent, average for Patrick. But like I said, he had some brilliance as well that he showed. So for our quarterback, our guy at the helm, he's the one that's got to own it. He's got to own it, and he understands that. So that's what I love about it. He doesn't back up from those things at all. But for me, man, I got Patrick Mahomes. Man, I graded him out at a C. That's what he got for me.
Yeah, and I'm seeing comments here. Like what you notice from Pat. Do you get a sense that the ankle's bothering him with his mechanics, the way he's throwing the ball, or is it more so just the pressure that he's taking, and that's kind of what's making him rattled back there when he's missing throws he shouldn't miss, or
Well, one thing that you can't do is if you're pressured, even for a quarterback like Patrick, who's a high level quarterback, that he can throw off one leg, he can let that thing go fly. So even if you're getting pressured in your face, elite quarterbacks can, get through that. They can get past that. But if your ankle's bothering you, your whole body's not right, especially your foundation, it's going to be a little bit tougher. Your ball's going to be off. It ain't going to be as good as you want it to be. You see how it was kind of running a little bit yesterday, trying to get out of the way, being elusive is another thing like that. So on the Brown said, don't forget the ankle is in 75%. So we can see that he was a little banged up. He's been like it for the past couple of weeks. And so that's why it behooves us to make sure that we give him the type of pocket that he needs to operate. And so when we see the ball, kind of flailing or soaring and things like that, yes, that goes into it. Absolutely. But Patrick still's got to be able to put the one on the guys. Okay, like I said, he's got to be the one to own it. If he said he's okay to go, he's got to make sure he's okay to go. So, yeah, that's just how the way it works, man. Guys are gonna be banged up at this time of the year. Patrick's no different. So,
yeah, it's gonna be hard to find any player that's not a little bit banged up at this point, week 11 during the season. Yeah, I mean, JD, I'm seeing here from Kevin Morris that fourth quarter drive was awesome. We talked about it last night, probably one of the more impressive drives of the season. When it comes to, and I see this all the time, it's like, where is a drive like that? I know Pat talks about having the urgency that we had at the end of the game, at the beginning of the game. Where, like, there's times where I watch the Chiefs where it's like, man, you have a drive like that. It's like, man, where has that been all game? Where's that variety? Where's that balance kind of attack, kind of that up-tempo-ness? Where's that been all game long, and then you have that moment where it's that one amazing drive where it's like, where's that been? I mean, what does that tell you when you see a drive like that late in the game, where the whole game before that offense has been kind of meh, hot and cold?
Well, that's determined on the one that's making the play calling. It's got to be on the coaches. Coaches got to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And so for them, they got to make sure that they put the pieces where they need to get the puzzle fitting where it has to fit. And so it's on them to call the plays where you see the tempo plays that you could go ahead and move up and down the field like you need to, because that's imperative. You got to be able to do that. But if you don't call the necessary plays to get guys open and getting the ball out of your hand fast, then that creates problems, creates issues. But I think what would alleviate some of that is, get your, running game established. And so if you have a pass rush that's pressuring you up the middle, on the outside, make sure you have some plays to get the ball out of your hand early. Also, too, deep shots always work. Deep shots always backs up the defense and makes it work. So you got to make sure they cover every blade of grass that they do. Also, too, like I said, you got to hand the ball off. But that's all more incumbent on the coaches as opposed to Patrick. Patrick's just calling the play, getting in and out the huddle. But it's got to be a rhythm. It's got to be tempo to that, Marcus. It has to be that. That's coaches.
Yeah, and we'll get to the coaching grade later on in the episode.
Mm-hmm. Terran Young said, "On the Focus Chiefs team is still 9-1." Hey, man, shoot, this is one game. This is one game, and it boils down to this, Terran. Football is real simple. Okay, it's executing what they ask you to execute. Okay, it is making less mistakes and penalties and turnovers than the other people. Okay, and making bigger plays than everybody else, the opponent. That's what it's going to boil down to. And so we just didn't do that yesterday. We just didn't. They made bigger plays when they needed to make the plays. They had less penalties than we had. They had less turnovers than we had. And they capitalized on the things they needed to capitalize on. So there was all three phases of our game that we kind of struck out on, to be honest with you. So that was it. So
Sarah 73, what does vanilla mean? I've been hearing that a lot. JD, do you want to cover what vanilla means as far as vanilla game?
Yeah, vanilla just means like more simpler. It's just a simple, like you get ice cream, right? You get chocolate vanilla. Vanilla is just, as simple as you could possibly make it, where you don't have to do anything that is integrally too, I don't know.
Not too complex.
No complexions, right? And so if it's not as complex, make it just, like Kareem Hunt was saying, smash my football. Hey, run the ball right down your throat. That's what we're going to do. And there is room to do that. We should have done that yesterday, and we just didn't. Sometimes you got to get a little vanilla. Sometimes we do a lot of the motions, the movement that he was talking about. Like, that might just be a little bit too much for guys to keep remembering to run just one play. Yes, good every once in a while. Okay, you can create confusion a lot. Okay, to get matchups that you want. Okay, that is advantageous and beneficial for you. But sometimes it's just straight vanilla is what we want, Marcus. We don't even want sprinkles on it or no chocolate syrup. Straight vanilla ice cream. That's all it is. Okay, basic.
Just give it to me. Give me two scoops, and that's it, baby.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Terrence, does Pat have a quick pass game, or is his style more gunslinger? No, they have quick pass game. They got RPOs, quick pass game, but he's also a gunslinger. That's the thing about Pat, man. You can't put him in a box, man. He can do it all. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. All right. So now you mentioned Kareem Hunt, smash mouth, JD.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, Kareem Hunt yesterday did a good job, and like I said, we should have had a heavy dose of Kareem Hunt, Steele, and Perine. And when those guys was in there, they produced. They did. I think your brother Tasia said it yesterday that this is probably one of his better outputs as far as yards per carry in a game since he's been back. And that is absolutely true. they were opening holes up. And for us not to run the ball on second and short, to me, is a travesty, especially when you have a guy like Kareem Hunt back there that you can hand the ball off to. You got to take advantage of that. You have to. And so they got smaller linebackers. They got safeties and corners I think don't really tackle that well. Kareem Hunt looked like a madman running in that secondary. Sometimes he got so open, he was just, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm this open. And we should have exploited it, and we just didn't. We just didn't. So for him, he did a good job. Steele got a couple carries and getting the first downs, doing a good job. P. Ryan came in, did an incredible job catching the football when we needed to. So the backs looked good. They did. They needed to get some extra work. And what I said that for, Marcus, is, they gave tough running as always, but 8 to 10 more touches by anyone in this group, and we win. That's my assessment of it. 8 and 10 more touches by this group alone puts us in a victory. That's what I believe. So I don't know why we felt like we needed to go ahead and pass the ball on second and short, second and 4. I just don't understand it. But hey, that's how they felt like they wanted to, attack the Bills, right? I'm just a guy that's played football and I've seen it. I know sometimes, Sarah, we got to keep it vanilla, okay? Sometimes it is just hitting jokers in the mouth, running down their daggone throats and putting our cleats on their back. And I know the big guys up front appreciate those things more so than anything else. And I think what we did is we compromised our offensive line by passing the ball the way that we did. And that compromised our integrity as far as the passing, pass protection, and everything, man. And it all goes down. That's how it works. It all goes downhill, right? It's just one of those things that just continues just to go. So, but yeah, those guys, running backs, without any, and I just say this, they needed to chip a little bit more to help out. But I think they did a pretty decent job. So the running backs, for me, they got I set them at a B and B plus. That's where I'm having them at, right? That's where I'm at, B and B plus. So I think they did a good job.
Yeah, if only we got to see a little more totes from him. Do you expect, so we have the Carolina game this coming weekend, and then shortly after, 4 days later, the Friday night, Black Friday game we play. Do you anticipate Pacheco playing this weekend and then playing on a short week right after that? I feel like this week would be the weird week to have him back. I feel like you bring him back in the Black Friday game, so he's got a longer time of rest after that game, right?
Yeah, you can make an argument. Unless he's just ready to go, unless we just been holding him back the whole time. He's just like, man, I've been ready, right? So you want to get him into the swing of things more so than not. And so if it's something like, you don't quite know, and he's right there on the cusp of like, yeah, is he okay? How does he look in practice? Yeah, I say hold him out. We don't necessarily need him for this game. So and my question is, heck, if we ain't going to utilize the running backs and hand the ball off to him, definitely don't bring him back. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing. The fact that, we abandoned the run game yesterday, right? You bring Pacheco back, and let's say he's the one getting the 14 carries. What does that mean for Kareem Hunt? Was it 2 carries? That's just if once you have both those guys, you feed both of them until they stop the run, because you're gonna have 2 aggressive physical dudes coming down your throat all game long.
Well, it's just not only that, man. But we know both these guys are capable backs catching the ball out the backfield, and we need to utilize that as well. But yeah, I think I seen one we was 2nd and 4 and we ran empty, and I'm like, what are we doing? I would motion him back into the formation in the backfield and then run the ball. But it is what it is. We learning from it. Somebody was sitting there saying, Chris Style, what's up, Chris? Said Xavier not getting the ball in the second half was criminal, not running the rock enough, but maybe they're trying to preserve Hunt. Good thing Papa's coming back. There might be a little bit there. I can agree with that, because we've been getting. He's been running the ball a whole lot. He has. But we got Steele. We got P. Ryan. We had guys that could come in and give him, a breath and still run balls with him. We know that. So we just didn't do it. So he could have got a break with those 2 guys being here as well, because they're very capable runners. We understand that. P. Ryan has been playing a whole lot. We know how good he is. still has shown that he's capable to come in and get some yards. So, if that was the case, why not utilize those guys to come in and do that too? Sarah73 said, for your information, Reed said today at the presser that ownership and egos had to be left outside. Sounded like he was talking possibly about the coaches, including him. They need to do better. I agree. I think they have quite understood it. Part of your ego may come in is because when you get complacent in winning, you don't think anything's wrong, right? You're winning all the time where everything's good, right? The world's perfect. Ain't nothing happening. And what you fail to understand is, you had a nail in your tire that's been there for, a couple of days, been losing a little bit of air. Sometimes maybe it's been raining and your windshield wipers hadn't been replaced. So you start realizing, dang, there's some things I actually hadn't done. So that's what I'm talking about. I think part of the egos of not just the coaches, but also some players may say too. And I'm telling you, look, as great as our team is, and they're all human. We understand it. There's things that people feel like they need to be playing more. I should be doing this. And you can see sometimes the lack of effort and sometimes some of the grumbles like, man, I won't get in there, man. How come there's some people like that. I guarantee it. They might say it real softly, but people still hear it. And somebody might hear it say, hey, coach, man, this joke over here is complaining a little bit. Something you got to check those things. So, yeah, check the ego at the door, period. We had that, man. Coach Ramil used to have that. He made sure everybody, players and coaches, check your ego at the door. That was what we had. That was our motto. So,
High value, high yield has a question. Do you think we're going to be running more 2-back sets when Pop gets back? Imagine Pop Hunt with Chanel as a lead blocker.
High value, high yield, brother. Listen, I appreciate the question. Look, we trying to say some things need to be vanilla. Let's leave Chanel on, the defensive side of football, unless we need him down there in the red zone, maybe going at the goal line, maybe possibly, I don't know. But do I think they'll do some 2-back sets? Sure, why not? I think, two guys like that just creates problems. It creates problem matchups. And so, sure, I would, suppose I would see some of that. Absolutely.
Now, what you could see is a little wishbone formation with Pacheco and Hunt, and then with Steele as the fullback role. Now you can see that'd be fun.
You can see some of that. Yeah, sure. They might even do what's the Wildcat.
They could, yeah. A lot of options to do when all of them are back. So that'll be fun for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So now you mentioned Xavier Worthy in the opener, JD. How you loved the way he played yesterday. Kind of bounced back from weeks past. What did you think of the wide receiver room as a whole?
Wide receiver room as a whole, man. I tell you what, it's unfortunate because Xavier Worthy was having one hell of a game. He was having a hell of a game to start it off, look electric. But this is exactly what I wanted to see out of this guy. Okay. A guy that's been under the tutelage of D-Hop for the past couple of weeks, trying to get some of his confidence now, not putting everything on his shoulders because now you got Juju back, now you got D-Hop back. He's like, okay, I don't have to necessarily be the guy. So with that, it's like, well, shoot, we're going to give you the ball now. Let's feed you, okay, because we want to see you do something with it. And he delivered. He delivered when we was throwing the ball to him. And we keep forgetting about how fast that joke is. I think part of some of the timing, I think Pat always forgets how fast Xavier Worthy is. And sometimes when you're a speedster, like I used to be a speedster where I could run I was pretty fast. When you open up them legs, sometimes you got to learn how to gauge that too. And so catching that ball on the sideline, he's got to drag that foot. He has to. That is to be something. He adds that element to the game. He's going to be dangerous. He's dangerous right now. Speed is one of those things, man, you just cannot coach. I'm sorry. It's one of them things the guy has, and you can tell clearly he's faster and better than everybody else, especially in that regard, right? So 4.2 is a 4.2 anywhere. That translates wherever you go. I don't care where it is, okay, against anybody. But I needed to see a game like that from Xavier Worthy. Did a great job. When we got those guys involved, man, they produced. So D-Hop was good when we decided to throw the ball to him. He was good catching the football. Pat threw the one up to him. I thought he was going to bring down. He almost had that. My thing is, man, for the wide receiver, Pat gets in problems, look for D-Hop. That's my solution. You get in any problem, an issue, throw it to the guy that got the biggest hands out there and that can catch anything that's thrown to him. That's D-Hop. So he almost brought that one down, man. I thought they were going to give it to him. But yeah. So I'll take him against anyone. Watson, Harmon, they all contributed and did a nice job. But where was Juju? Juju only had the one catch.
That was a good looking catch too. I thought that play was dead on arrival, and he made something with that catch.
He did. I wish we'd seen a little bit more Juju catching the football, doing some more things like that. You know, he looked good, looked ready. But those are things that we'll get better at. We'll get better at those things. Could have definitely used him more. But for me, the wide receivers yesterday actually got a B for me. They got a B. So I know people, I want to address this because somebody sit there and said, I don't think the wide receivers are getting open and man and stuff like that. That's absolutely not true. When you start look at the all 22, Pat just didn't have time to throw it. And some of them, they was getting open. And the timing routes, that's why it's so important the timing is down, that you're giving the time to throw the football. Okay. So everybody gets an F. Chief KT, that's probably the same dude. KT 785, everybody gets an F. Probably some same dudes. Don't tell who it is. All right. We see some silliness. It's silly. But the thing is, we already know that we got guys that can get open. They can run great routes. They understand. D-Hop went down and get some balls, man, that only D-Hop could do. Like the intelligence, him catching the football, rolling in for the first down, all those different things. Hey, man, shoot. We got a good receiving core, okay? And I don't want to diminish their parts, but I think that's part of like that tempo we were talking about, knowing when to run the ball, knowing when to throw it, all those different things. So
you mentioned receiver, and I've seen some people in the chat mention it. We talked about it before we came on. Chiefs signed Tyquan Thornton to a practice squad. Patriots released him two days ago. He was a second-round pick in the 2022 draft. Ran a 4.21 unofficial time coming out of college from Baylor. I think officially was a 4.28. So, like you mentioned, 4.2 is 4.2. That's speed. Just got cut 2 days ago. This will be the third guy we've brought in from that Patriots team, JD. Uche, Juju, and now Tyquan Thornton. Obviously, his numbers aren't there. If you look at his stats so far over the last 3 years, 2022 was his best season. 22 catches, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last year, 13 catches, 91 yards. And then this year so far, 6 games played, 4 catches, 47 yards. Kind of a weapon. You can use them all over the place a little bit. They use him in the backfield as well. 6'2", 185. So he's not your normal, smaller guy, 5'10", who runs a 4.2. 6'2", 185. So there's something there. Obviously second round pick. So there is talent there. Can the Chiefs maximize it? Who knows? But what do you make of the move?
I think that's what it is. I think they just utilizing, they looking for the future, pretty much. They can use you now, maybe, so, get some out of him. I think sometimes you just got opportunity to get guys. And so if you pull the trigger on somebody, go ahead and get them, right? Sucker runs a 4.28 right there, 42. Yeah, sucker's fast. Like I just said, speed is something that you just cannot coach. If a sucker's 4.28, he's a 4.28 everywhere on the planet. That's the way it works. And so if you can use a guy like that, utilize him, develop him. And so some systems don't work for certain guys. Maybe this system works for him. But I don't think it's something that he's going to be contributing to what we do right now. But I think it is just a kind of a move. Like once you get him here, that's the way it's got to be, right? So.
Yeah, definitely. A move like that's probably something that Juju probably signed off on since he was with him last year. Probably said, "Hey, go get this guy. He's a talented kid." I mean, they definitely went to him about that because they played in the same room last year.
So on the Rams, I don't see where there's room for another wide receiver unless they're about to dump someone. Probably that's how it works. I don't know as far as him being on on the 53-man roster, but it could be, a practice squad. Like I said, it's developmental. All right. So everybody's looking at this. What's the point of having a speedy receiver? We ain't using them or executing them. No vision. Okay. Look, I get everybody wants something to happen right now. Okay. That's not how organizations work. They don't. Right. And so if the Chiefs decide to get somebody for the future to develop it, maybe he could do something later on. That's what they do. It's business. Okay. So you could cry about it, scream about it, and say, why you get this and get all of that. I know one thing, what they have been doing in Veach, and I'm going to say this about Veach. Okay. Everybody could talk about Veach not getting wide receiver, he done do this, he done do that. But all I know is Chiefs been Super Bowl champs for the last 2 years. We just lost our first game yesterday. So all these people that's over here bickering and crying and stuff like that, man, hey, man, pull your pants up. How about that? How about you do that? Okay? Because y'all suckers are sitting over wearing your emotion on your sleeves and stuff, man. It's a little sorry to me. Sorry to say. Okay? Not saying you don't have no concerns and stuff like that, man. But all these suckers that's over here with all the heckling and crying and they just want to go out there. One thing I'm over, Marcus, I'm telling you right now, this is me. I'm going to just be real. We're here, 100. One thing I'm over. Okay, there's all these little crybabies out of here that's whining and so emotional and stuff like that. None of y'all jokers are out here putting your hand in the dirt, running the football, getting tackled, getting beat up and stuff like that. That's what them guys are doing. And they've been sitting up there, they've been winning this entire time. So, you know how they sit there and say, somebody might have your draws in a bunch and all these different things. I'm sitting there seeing, man, butt cheeks are looking tight right now on some folks. I see you, Chief KT. I know you're trolling, but this is a message for the bigger picture. I wanted to say this already, okay? Because I really do believe that some of these people who's out here talking all that craziness, y'all jokers need to tighten up. That's how it works. Shoot, if y'all sucker was in the locker room, suckers they might go across your face with something like that. Man, tighten up. What's wrong with you? You shake you to death like, hey, you better wake up. We don't sit there and go through no, you know what I'm saying? You don't crumble because something happens. You don't do that. That ain't how they ain't made that way. Football players ain't made that way. That ain't how it works. Sorry. So sometimes, man, that is softness. I don't mind patting you on the back if you needed the shoulder to cry on. But also, too, after you get finished crying on my shoulder, man, tighten up. Let's go. Let's get back to work. And that's what Andy and those guys is talking about doing. Okay. We need to get behind them right now at this moment. They lost one game to the Bills, which is probably one of the top 5 teams in the league. And it wasn't nothing they did. It was everything that we lost. It was our mistakes that lost the game. So that's it. I'm going to leave it right there. No, I'm going to start getting heated. I'm just get back on my coaching. So love y'all.
I will say,
KT. Appreciate you, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love the troll comments tonight, guys. You guys are funny. There was one thing I didn't notice though, looking at the snap counts yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Hopkins, 26 offensive snaps yesterday, only 47% of our snaps yesterday, which I thought was interesting because that was a 20% drop from the week before. 47% of our snaps last week. He was 65% of our snaps. So it's kind of weird that a bigger game than we had, a game that we thought that we probably didn't throw, we didn't run it enough. Hopkins got less snap count this week. I thought that was just that's weird to me. Not weird at all for you?
Well, you bring Juju back, right? And Juju is another capable receiver. So D-Hop doesn't have to, carry the brunt of it. You don't have to. So we trust Juju as well. And you got to trust the guys that you brought in there. So D-Hop, you put him in when you want to throw the ball to him or you want to, call his number, right? But you want to maintain and pick and choose and make sure that knee's not, bothering him either. Sometimes it's just maintenance. But we know Juju is a capable guy. Like I said, it's 2 years removed. That sucker almost caught 80 balls for us. He looked good moving out there. McCole Harmon came in and gave us something. Justin Watson was able to give us some things. So if D-Hop played 100% of the snaps, if Pat's getting pressured, The people down his throat, I don't care how many snaps he's getting. If he can't get the ball to him, it don't even matter, right? So I think maybe Marcus, it may go up, but they just wanted to see. They want to see how guys operate amongst each other. But I know when we call his number, he's going to be in. I tell you that. So, yeah, you just got to be, strategic how you're doing it and using it.
Yeah. All right, so I'm starting to see some Kelsey digs. So let's go to our tight end room, JD.
Really, Kelsey Diggs? Who's digging on Kelsey?
I'm seeing some Kelsey looks old and slow in the chat. Yeah,
I see it. Yeah, they trolling.
The usual.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, and I say this. So I'm gonna start out with the tight ends. I'm gonna say Noah Gray came to play and it did a good job in the run game, but was spectacular in the red zone and passing plays. Okay, I'm not even gonna talk about Travis Kelsey first. I'm gonna talk about Noah Gray. That guy that you got right there on that picture, Noah Gray, was exceptional yesterday. Exceptional. And he's a weapon for us. He's Johnny on the spot. Whatever he needs to do, he is in there. Hard, hot, and lunch pail. That's what he brings every single day when he's out there. But he did a great job. Blue Devil. That's right. If nobody knows, I'm a Duke fan, basketball. I'm here in Kentucky. People, we go at it. But let me go back to what I was talking about. But he does a great job. Blocking too. He was cutting guys in the line of scrimmage. He was knocking guys out. Better job by Noah this week, without a question. Now, we understand that Travis Kelsey, they've been seeing him over the number of games. Travis has been killing everybody for the past few weeks. Sucker ain't been slow. He went all these other things everybody was talking about the past few weeks because he's been killing everybody he's been going against. And so he doesn't have a high output because we couldn't get the ball to him. That wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault at all. Joker was getting bracketed. And they knew, certain things that, Travis, he's going to try to get open for Patrick. But Patrick back there running this, running for his life. I keep saying that. You got to keep going back to it because it's true. It was true. So I don't know what the pressure count was. I didn't even look at that. But for me, as far as the way I put pressures in a category, he had a lot of them yesterday. He had a lot of it. He was under duress. But going back to Travis Kelsey, probably him, same thing. If Travis had 4 or 5 more touches, it's a different ball game. So that's where we got to look at it. But I will tell you somebody, man, it was absolutely, oh, man, I was impressed by Hendershot. Hendershot did a good job coming into the game. He had a pivotal first down catch for us down at the red zone that Pat threw up. I didn't know. I was like, who's he throwing to? And the Hendershot came through, caught that football, and I said, I'll be daggone, we got somebody here. And he had noticeable contribution on special teams. Contribution, man, 88, man, well done. Hendershot, well done. Good job by him. I'm liking 88, man, because he likes mixing it up. Matter of fact, he was the dude that was on the sideline, if I'm not mistaken, when they pushed Pat and they pushed him and he was like, well, I'm looking for him. He's like, bring it. I ain't going nowhere. Here I am. So now that's what I like about Hendershot, dude. I like him a lot. I think he's a great addition to the team with Jared Wiley out. But Hendershot is making himself known. And that's a hell of a thing to see. So our tight ends, man, did a great job. I'm giving our tight ends B+ or B, okay? My preference, B+. I'm going to say even B. I'm going to give them a B. That's where I'm going to be at, okay? But you can give them a B+ if you want to. But I like our tight end core, did a great job yesterday. Needed to get Travis Kelsey at least 4 or 5 more looks. Different ball game after that.
I'm glad you gave some love to a Hendershot there, JD. Hendershot, man, I love what he did. Shut off his hands a little bit yesterday, but Kelsey can get hot-headed at points.
Yeah.
No Gray's he doesn't really get into anything. I don't think I've ever seen him get into any kind of scuffles with any other team. But you kind of need a guy like that. Every team has a guy like that. We don't really have someone who does it, who likes to mix it up. And Hendershot, man, he's not afraid to get in the mix of things at all. He'll get in there. Guy wasn't on a team for 2 minutes. He was getting in a fight with Roquan Smith on the sideline. I mean, like, you need a guy, you need a dog like that. I think it's really stood out to me. And for a team like us to have a guy like that, it's amazing.
Absolutely. And he fits right into what we do. You know, that's what I love about this tight end room is because, you know, playing tight end, we got to be the jack of all trades. We have to be. And so you can't just be like shrinking yourself out and stuff like that. You got to go out there. You got to go hit somebody. You know, for a tight end, be the enforcer. You got to be the first one to swing. And so I used to remind Gonzalez and all those, we knew we was gonna rumble. We was gonna fight somebody. It didn't matter who it was gonna be. You're not gonna touch our quarterback. You're not gonna touch our running back. You're not gonna touch our offensive lineman. And you're definitely not gonna touch one of us. Okay. Anybody that's doing any of that sickness, that madness, gonna get dealt with. So we're gonna put a couple speed knots on your head, and that's what I like about this tight end room, man. What's up, Gary? Good seeing you, my brother. Good to see you in here. Maximo0101. But yeah, great in his blocking. He did a good job blocking too. So good deal.
Yeah. Glad we're getting the other tight end some love. And that's nothing to say about Travis Kelce. You know, everyone's trying to knock on him on social media, but, you know, the other guys stepped up.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
All right, JD, now we're going to get to the O-line. I've seen some people comment on Wanye Morris wanting to know what your grade is for Wanye, but JD, what did you make of the offensive line play?
Tell you what, man. For my O-line, this was a tough one to watch. But there was too much push and pressure from the Bills' defensive line that affected PM15's timing in the passing game. And we know the game is won up front. It is. When you have guys in the trenches that understand gap integrity, but assignment as far as like the battle, every single snap starts there. I mean, that's where you hit, you swing, you punch, you bite, you scrape. It is an all-out war on that offensive line and D-line, okay? That's just what it is in the trenches. That's just what it is. And you got to be built to deal with those things. So for me, if I feel it seem a little rough, that's because for me, I was in those trenches, okay? And I don't mind swinging like I know all these other guys don't do it. But we got pushed around a little bit yesterday by the Bills' defensive line. 91 was giving it to us. That sucker is a hoss. That joke is a hoss. And he was going up and down the road, pushing everybody back, giving everybody the business. So I always do a hold for these things. What I would say of this about Wanye, and Andy said this, and I knew that before, but I think Wanye is still a little bit hurt. I think his knees still bother him still a little bit. And I was just kind of watching his gait. Almost like that Tyson fight. We were talking about the Tyson fight. It was like when he walked in, he had like a little gait to him. Like, oh, okay. You got a little, knee sleeve on. Mike won 100. We know that. Okay. I thought that was however anybody feels about that, man. Everybody kept going to Mike being 58 years old. That wasn't what it is. Mike, had something in his contract, and that sucker wasn't all the way right going to go fight Jake Paul. If he was, it'd have been a whole different thing. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. But Wanye, I still think is a little banged up. So why are we hesitant to get a left tackle? Donovan, Bakhtiari, someone? Medi Matrix, that might be in the works. Sometimes these talks might take a little time. They might give guys time to get themselves in shape. Whatever it may be might be holding them up. It could be money, especially now. This is the business side of it. If a team's sitting there seeing that a team is desperate, money talks, right? And price goes up. You need me. Guess what? You might have to pay a little bit more money. Well, we ain't quite got it. Oh, well, then I can't help you. I'll sit back on my butt, sitting over here eating Cheetos, drinking beer, and whatever else I'm doing. Okay, playing some golf, having a good time. put some things on the grill. But you want me to come out of where am I at? Out of my man cave or where I am, off the golf course, throw a little bit more of that do-re me my way. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. I would think, for me, I would be pursuing some of these guys. I would be. And I'd seen Andy talk about King Suma and why they put him. He didn't dress out for the game. And I do believe some of his confidence is shot. This is some of the things we talked about also too with Sky Moore and those guys, because when you have an expectation and you don't hit it, just like he's no different from anybody else. Sometimes people have a hard time moving forward, and we all move forward on our own time. Sometimes not rather quickly, right? And we see everybody's falling apart. We lose one game, everybody's falling apart, and so. But I think King Suma's going to bounce back. I think he has to just work through it. He'll just have to work through it. But I know he didn't want to necessarily give out as far as like what's everything going on behind the scenes with him. But I hope he gets back to where he needs to get to. Other than that, man, I think it will be fine. Now, with that being said, okay, not only was he getting pushed back in the game, man, it was uncostly penalties that cost us too. Wanye had a holding call. Juwan Taylor had a holding call, which was a terrible call, by the way. That was a terrible call on Wanye. Or not Wanye, but Juwan. Sucker got his feet wrapped up trying to get Pat, and he pushed that sucker down, man. That wasn't, he didn't grab him. That was a bad call. Absolute bad call. Don P. be absolutely right. Play calling in my homes. Okay, I don't know what Neff talking about, but maybe Don P. was talking about. So that was, I think, was a bad call, but we should have been better against those guys. Now, let me say this. I think they did a pretty good job in the run game, but that's what we should have been giving our offensive line. We should have given more assignments than putting them in pass protection, retreating all the time. You got 40-year-old Von Miller who looks like he's slimmer than I've ever seen him, that all he wants to do is rush the passer. 9 times out of 10, it's first Hall of Famer, man. He's going to win. He's going to come after you. And all he needs is just 1 or 2 shots to make that happen. That was it. And he did a good job pressuring Juwan. Wanye was getting, pushed around. People up front, Trey Smith, Creed, Joe Tooney, those guys are getting pushed. They was getting double team split between them. So it went across the board. And I'm gonna say this to the O-line, man. Okay. And y'all don't have to listen to me. But I know y'all gonna challenge each other. Okay. It's on you all to challenge one another for where this team goes. Because it's gonna be on y'all shoulders. Okay. Everything starts up there in front with you guys. Everything. So I think you're up to the task. But it's time for y'all to get this thing right. So y'all know what y'all need to do. They understand it. But it's going to start up front. We're going to be just as good as our O-line is going to be. That's how it's going to work, Marcus. Okay, and everybody else out there. If our O-line is failing us, or our D-line is failing us, then you're going to see how hard it's going to be for us to just win games. Because that right there is a pulse. It all starts with them. It all starts with them. And if you're not protecting Pat, or you're not opening up the holes for the running backs, wide receivers can't catch it, tight ends can't catch the football, backs can't get up out the gate, hit the head on the goalpost. All of that matters. So, I know our guys want to beat guys up at the point of attack. We got to do that. We got to make sure they come off the football. Now, with that being said, I give our O-line. Man, I gave him a D+. C- D+. That's where I'm at.
Pretty scathing, JD. Last week I thought you were going to come in with a D plus. This week you come in with the D plus.
Yeah, I
Was
thought
that bad?
huh?
It was that bad, huh?
Well, I'm thinking, when you have last week and you see remnants for what they would what you had to really execute on, what you had to improve on. When you come into the very next week, you try to prove yourself, right? You're like, yeah, okay, well then, we come in, we're challenging ourselves. Well, it ain't gonna happen to us again. And guess what? The very next week, here it is. So Ray 028, C minus for me. Okay. And that's why I was kind of Ray C minus, D plus. I really didn't want to see D plus, but C minus possibly because they did a good job in the run game. We should have did that. And I'll go back to this. Ray, this was on the coaching. This was on the coaching. And Tehran says D plus because it's hurting other players' ability to shine. Absolutely. Andre Chenault, thank you, sweetie. C minus, sure. I'm being honest, but I don't know if that D plus was harsh or not, but I know for a fact them jokers are better than that. Okay. We've touted them as one of the best offensive lines in the league. And when I seen that offensive line on the other side for the Bills, them jokers look good. They look damn good. So we got to do a much better job than what we did, man. So maybe D plus is a little harsh. Maybe C minus is where we live with it. Yeah, I'll say C minus. I'll say C minus because they did a good job in the run game. So
And our best drive was that 11 play drive at the end of the game, 70 yards, where we scored, and everyone said it was a very great drive, up tempo. But that was like our best we looked all game, off the line, everyone. And that was, it wasn't a 50-50 split as far as pass run. JD was 7 pass to 4 run plays on that drive. But still, though, you want to see a little bit of a balance there.
That's what wins. That's the tempo.
Yeah.
That's the tempo. Because it's like, what do you do now? Pass, hand the ball off. He's up the road about 20 yards, right? Pass. And that's what you do. You get, defense is off balance. So Mike Brennan said how bad the pass blocking made it even more confusing why they didn't do more screens or pound on the rock. The way they played us, they were looking for the screens. Defensive lines understand where you disengage. And so for them, they just wanted to get down the line and push. As soon as they feel like an offensive line is disengaged, if I'm going middle to you, Mike, as a defensive lineman, I can feel when you disengage. So all they're gonna do is like, oh, I feel this guy, coming off of me. I don't feel him pressing against me. I'm just gonna follow him. That's what I'm gonna do. So they were ready for that. They were ready for that. We understand that, and they know because they've seen us enough that we live in that 5 to 10 yard area. And if you see how they had all the safeties up and the linebackers up, they were looking for those quick little, screens and all those different things. They were looking for that. Look, we run that at shovel pass better than anybody else with everybody. We did the lineman that made it, caught that.
Caliendo, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, daggone. Okay. All right. It's kind of new. I'm glad he caught that ball though. But we disguised it better than anybody else just with the action and emotion in the backfield. It's hard to defend. Trey Smith was killing players on the run. He was. Trey is a road grader. All of them are up front. Give them what they want. Let them suckers eat. They don't want to eat vegetables and all that. They give them steak and potatoes. That's what they want, the red meat, man. That's what they want to do. And so Trey is a guy that is a forceful dude, soft-spoken, but he's a monster out there on the field. So, and I think we put him on their heels, man. We put him retreating. And he shouldn't have done that. Yeah, Ray, they need to. Trey loves to fight. He sure does.
He was fighting down there without his helmet on.
Yeah. Love Trey.
Brett better open up his pocketbooks this summer. I'm telling you, this offseason he better open up his pocketbook to make sure you keep Trey Smith in town.
With some things that Trey needs to get better at though too. One thing I talked about this. Okay, and I'll go ahead and say it. For me, I would want Trey to sit a little bit more stout on the line of scrimmage on pass protection. And I think sometimes it retreats a little bit too much. I think he gives up a little bit too much room. Matter of fact, Marcus, let's go to that. Do you got that video that I sent you?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Okay. So we're going to talk about a little bit here. Oh, okay. So obviously we can see the guy sitting back. Watch, we're on the 37-yard line. Look how far they push this back, this pocket back. Very first play of the game. But this was like it's all night. Our guys are retreating at least 5 yards, 5 or 6 yards. Then watch. 91, 50, 92, I guess is what it watch how they push our guys back. Look, just right down midline. Pat feels the pressure. That's how they were doing him all night. Now, look at this pocket. I think goes to the next one. The Bills, okay? Instead of retreating 5 or 6 yards back, they only do 3. Watch the room they give Josh Allen. That's what he was getting all night. That's what they were seeing. And so you see how stout it was. Like the pressure was different. And so getting pushed back 5 yards on the inside and outside as opposed, that's a huge difference for a quarterback to make everything look good, the window. And so they can sit there and talk everything they want to about Josh Allen, this and that. The sucker had some pockets. Go back at it again. Take the same one. Look at that. That's a push. No quarterback needs to be on that type of pressure. That's when you get errant throws and those things happening.
What do you chalk that up to? The will and want of the D line versus our O line, or what is it?
I think you got to do a quicker set. That's a quick set, but you got to strike. Like you got to stop the rush right there immediately is what happens. Okay, like you absorb the blow, but you got to absorb the blow earlier. Okay, you can't retreat and catch. Watch their line. Okay, I mean they immediately getting the guy right now. Watch they absorb the blow. Watch how they you got to anchor quick. Boom. See that? They stop their rush within 2 or 3 yards, and so you got to get stout immediately. That's how it works. And so I think, sometimes our interior guys, Trey, Creed, and Joe, get pushed around. They get pushed back. Look at that. I mean, setting your feet down early. So when you have the depth of the pocket, man, that's what makes the clear window. That way, the guys that's coming from the outside, shoot, Pat can step up a little bit and say, hey, I let them breathe from the outside. Let me just step up in this little space. A yard and a half is huge. It's huge in the NFL for a quarterback, especially back there. A yard and a half after catching a football is huge. You wide open. But when you get into confined places, tougher task. So, so that's my thing. I never really talk about it and call it out, but we got to do a much better job of stopping that charge earlier. Got to be more stout, okay? Rather than rush our line, may have been keeping the lanes to contain Allen. No. If you push a guy back, and okay, Greg, so we know it's gap integrity, okay? So when you contain him, you want to be able to shed, all right? So if you're not getting a rush back there where it's clear for like a linebacker or whoever's doing the spy who's coming up to make the play, like when he decides to take off running, our guys recognize it earlier, okay? But if you're sitting back there and then all of a sudden, the last play of the game, and I did it, and I should have sent it to you. Baldy does a great job of breaking this thing down. Should have sent those to you what Baldy did. I need to get Baldy on here. But 64, Chris Jones came in, and he just took Chris where he wanted to. That's what opened up the lane for Josh. Josh seen that lane. He's like, I'm gone. Okay. We was running man coverage is what we were doing. Okay. Cover one. We was running cover one. All right. With that, if you look at the communication back there, it was a little bit of a confusion about who had who. Okay, so they're running two shallow crosses, and we call this the pick routes. Two shallows because guys had to bounce to get over. Okay, it was a great play call for them. Okay, because they understood. Hey, we used to call it 122 wide pick. That's what we used to call it. Okay, and all you're doing is you're just running two guys to get two defenders to bounce over top for the guy that they got man. We run man a lot. They know that. We understood that. 4th and 2, we run a man. But what we should have done is we should have brought one more than what they could block. We didn't do that. The same blitz we had McDuffie come off the edge, we could have ran that one. Like we should, at that moment, hey, balls to the wall, go get him. Do not let him sit back there. And you have everybody just play tough. That's what you're going to be able to do. But when we start watching guys, move across you and picking and stuff like that, that's when it gets a little bit confusing. Who do you have? Who do you got? And so when the communication is off, then that means your assignment is off too. And then we've seen that throughout the entire game. Now, we'll get to defense because there was miscommunication. And so when you see this, I was just like, man, what are we running? What are we doing? What's the assignment? And it seemed like we weren't recognizing particular plays fast enough. We weren't doing that. So that's why they had a good scheme against what we were doing. They had a good scheme against it. When we came after them, we started getting home. We did enough to disrupt the things that he was doing. Okay, when he had to retreat and whatnot, he had to make sure he had to retreat. So, no, it wasn't zone. It was man, Todd. It was man. He probably should have been in zone. Zone would have probably helped him better than that. At least in zone, you could have brought another blitzer and have people just sit in areas, and you could have done that. So, but it was cover one. They was running man on that, and that's what guys got confused because you had 2 or 3 guys crossing at the same time across our linebackers and whatnot, and everybody's I'm getting this guy, you got this guy, so you pull that. And I'm gonna say this. We'll get to the linebackers in a second, okay? But there's some things there, man, that really looking at it, we just we didn't do a good job in assignment football. But there is, without a doubt, I don't care who it is, you don't rush to stop 2 or 3 yards pass rushing to contain a guy. That's not how it works. You take that guy that you're pushing back and you actually make him part of your defense too. That's what you do. So when you're closing the pocket, especially against a Josh Allen or Lamar, you got to condense everything you do. You got to constrict it. That's what you want to be able to do. Squeeze these suckers in. That's what needs to happen. And that's got to be a push up front from those guys. Okay? We didn't see it enough. We was getting pushed back on the offensive line. We didn't have enough push up front. Chris was getting back every once in a while. But shoot, other guys weren't getting back there. Shoot, Uche should probably need to be playing a little bit more. And I don't understand why he wasn't back there. Uche was coming, So the snaps that I saw him in there, he was bringing a little bit of that funk. He's bringing that speed rusher. That's his style. That's what he does. So
5 snaps for Uche yesterday.
5. Okay. Well,
unreal.
I hope that changes. And I know if Menahu's coming back, that's definitely going to change. And he's going to make a big impact when he comes back. It's going to be different, okay? Let's understand that. It's going to be different. When Menahu gets back, Uche gets a little bit more reps and whatnot, we're going to be much better defensively. They should have never put 30 points up on our defense. Never. They knew what we did, and they used it against us. Okay? Start running man, they start running those little picks. They stepped out of the way, man, on that one. And I don't know if you see my little tweet that I made sending my little letter to the NFL officials.
I saw that.
Okay. All right. I'm tongue in cheek, being facetious, but I'm daggone serious. Shoot, we need a daggone call back. Okay? We need something. I know y'all love the Chiefs, man, but y'all missed that one. I missed that one. Telling people like, oh, JD, don't start fussing about it and stuff. Why not? Everybody else does. Shoot, when they say Chiefs with the calls, they don't want us to say nothing. All of a sudden, when we get,
I know
against us, man, to hell with that. I was like, daggone, I'm gonna scream up to the shouts. I'm gonna write me a letter to the NFL officials, okay? And I'm friends with a whole lot of them jokers. I'll talk to the officials. Y'all seen their pictures? I want to get them on my good side. That's a daggone sure. So y'all can say what y'all want to say. I'm good with it. But okay, all right. So we go D line, Marcus. Okay, D line. I told you, man, I didn't want to run my mouth that much, Marcus. Daggone, I didn't want to. I didn't want to. This is the game we need to talk about. Okay.
That's all right.
So inconsistent in the pass rush, has some pressures mainly from CJ, but that was about it. Lane integrity diminished in some plays of the game and gave Josh Allen a chance to exploit it. And that's exactly what he did. Okay. Did a good job in the run game. Held Cook down. That sucker didn't really do nothing against us in the run game. But toward the end, too much from the other back at the change of pace. He came in and did a good job as far as changing pace, getting some yards when they didn't need to toward the end of the game. Not as aggressive as I've seen in the other games this past year. And that's another thing. I've seen him more aggressive in other games than this game. Was the Bills' offensive line that much better? I don't know. Are we dealing with some things, injuries, and stuff? I have no idea. I just know what I saw yesterday wasn't indicative of what I've seen this year from some of my guys. Okay. And so that's all I want to say with that, man. I D-line, I gave him a C+. C+. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, not the best game from our D-line.
No. Mm-mm.
All right, JD, you mentioned linebackers. Curious what you have to say about the linebackers.
Okay. Well, so I'm gonna go ahead and dispel some of the hate, the selective hate that everybody gives on Nick Bolton. And it was this dude that always visits on Twitter talking about, oh, yeah, he's not elite, this and that. And I'm like, hello, dummy. Like, here you come in when the Chiefs lose their first thing, and first thing you try to say is Nick Bolton ain't elite. Bye, dummy. Okay? Bye. So it's silliness that you hear from some of these fans. Oh, Nick Bolton this, Nick Bolton that. Nick was where he needed to be. They schemed up also, too, to get Nick out of the middle. When we run man, cover one, the middle linebacker, Mike linebacker usually have number 3, okay, depending on the count, how they want to do it, all right? That's how it usually works. And so when we in nickel or sub packages, which, you have a guy that covers a slot, nickel guys, they have that guy, the linebacker has number 3. And they kept running a lot of RPOs. 3 to that side, a tight end on our side, and he was just going to the flat. They had the 2 wide receivers. So Nick had to go out there to go get those guys sometimes. Now, what we missed is other guys making plays. We had the leverage down there in the red zone on the goal line, and Cook outran Tranquil to the pylon. Should have never happened. Should have never happened. The first touchdown they made. And when you got outside contained, you don't give up that at all. You don't give it up. So linebackers, I think, few bright spots in the game, but their play was average. Didn't feel they dominated like other games, but some plays were made. Some good plays were made. Buffalo schemed to get Bolton out in the middle on man, and they just got around Tranquil a few times. This is one of the better groups, I think, on the team. But I just felt they just didn't have any extra juice to make any type of determination, for this game or not, really. So I think the dude came out and said something about Nick Bolton, because when he came down to try to hit Josh Allen, that was the one. Okay. So you're going to use one play to try to sit there and say this guy's not a good player or elite. So I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Nick is the soul and the heart of our team on defense. He does a hell of a job week in and week out. So is Nick hurt? He could be. So he plays a lot. He's been banged up. He's got the little bionic arm and all those different things on too. So, he's out there looking like the Terminator. But I know he's got a heart of one too. So I don't worry about those things about him. and Chanel as well, and Tranquil. Trevor's got to do a much better job. But they know they get their hands on him, they can reach him, they can do all those different things. So, yeah, for me, this linebackers got a C+. C+ for the linebackers.
Yeah, I will say Bolden does look. Now, I'm not knocking Bolden here. I know obviously he's been banged up, but he does look. He does look like he's moving a little gingerly the last 2 games. It look like he looks a little bit, let's say slow, but slower than usual. I'll say because I'm a Bolton fan. It just looks like the last 2 games he does look a little bit like he's dealing with some kind of ailment out there, and he's giving us his whatever best he can. But he just looks slower than what I've been accustomed to see him out there.
Yeah, tired. Teron Young said, low key, Drew bald. I didn't see it. It's just that's my opinion on it. I watched him. There was times he was just out of place, couldn't get off blocks. Didn't got reached on one. Now he made some good plays. He made some good plays, Teron. But I've seen better games from Tranquil. I think there was that miscommunication. I think it wasn't one of his better games at all. Plays too high, but he's got a smaller frame and he can't get off. He can't shed and get off like he needs to. So, take him out from Cochran, and Leo needs to blitz more. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
You want a guy when you blitz, shoot, that they can very mobile, limber, can change direction. Shoot, maybe Tranquil would be that guy more. Okay, opening the door for him to get skinny in the hole and move around and get out there. So,
All right. So DBs, as a guy I saw in our chat, someone mentioned Shamari Connor had a bad game yesterday. He did come up with this clutch interception, but secondary overall wasn't just one guy. It was kind of a mixed bag back there in the secondary.
So our DBs yesterday, we'll say this. Yesterday I saw bad communication, bad tackling, missed assignments, and position mistakes. This was a tough night for our secondary yesterday. So our tackle ones are very consistent, and we seemed just a step behind all night. It just seemed like a step behind the things that we were doing defensively. I know everybody wants to make the point that this is a concern for us as far as the other DB. I do agree. Will it get fixed in-house? I think that's the question. Nazi had a tough night, but I don't know. A lot of it was communication with the young guys. Cook was a step behind, covering, recognizing particular plays. As far as assignment football, this is my assessment of it. And so we just looked a little slower. We just looked, like I said, a little step behind. I think Nazi kind of the first one that Amari Cooper caught. Nazi actually had a good position, looked pretty good. Coop made a good catch. That if you look at that play, and I would want to say, I'm like, man, show this to Xavier Worthy about how you get your real estate back. That's the way it's supposed to look. Okay. He had about 4 or 5 yards from the sideline. So if he needed to move out to go get it, sure, he knew exactly what he was doing. But that's a veteran guy knowing how to run that route. He made a hell of a catch. He made a couple catches yesterday. Connors out of place, missed some tackles, didn't do a good job, got the penalty on it for that pivotal first down for him. Other than that interception, that was about it. They was able to show. It was a tough night for our secondary. And so also, too, I will say this. that's why it's important that we get a pass rushing pressure on a guy like Josh Allen. You can't let him sit back there and pick you apart or go on timing and have a chance to tie his shoe, drink a cup of coffee, then take off running. You can't do it. Guys that can't cover all day, they can't. Um, and so when we know we're running a whole lot of cover one, that's why we got to hit home. That's why we got to get the pressure. That's why it's not lane integrity. We got to get back there. You got to disrupt him. And so it's the same thing. It doesn't change if it's Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. And so when he has pressure on him, you've seen an errant throw, right? Now he throws it all. What I do, interception. And that's the result of it right there. Right there. So needed to do that. Tough job by the DBs, man. Tough night. I see we played better wide receivers, and they didn't make them look like this. So, to our DBs, man, I gave them a C-.
Taryn Young's been asking. I appreciate the contribution, Taryn. I appreciate you coaching us up. Hicks needs more reps. Taryn's been commenting on our video since last night. He's saying he wants to see more Hicks, maybe less Cook.
I'll say this. I'll let the coaches handle that. They know them better than we do. So maybe some of the discrepancies that we see, maybe Hicks is not quite up on, and may not be necessarily assignment sound. He may take more chances than Cook, but the coaches are the ones they see him, they know him better than us. So I'm not going to demand anybody can see him more than somebody else. I've seen Hicks make some plays. I've seen him miss some plays. I've seen him miss tackles and be out of position. But he's a good player. I like Hicks. But the coaches make that determination. They'll do that. But Taryn, appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate it. Okay, for the contribution. But hey, Spags and those guys know what to do. I trust Spags and them. Dave Merritt, I trust them guys. They know who's better and who's going to play, and they'll do it. That's the way it works. So we'll see.
You mentioned the coaching staff, JD. Now it's time to get into the coaches. Well, actually, no, we have special teams first. We have special teams. Sorry, I can't forget about special teams.
Yeah, can't forget about special teams. Bravo to the new kicker that was perfect on his extra points in the game. Not a shaky knee in sight from him. So it was good for him to be 100% on his extra points. So I that was good because he didn't hurt us. I think he would have been fine if we needed to use him to kick. So Spencer Schrader, that's his name, Spencer. Spence, good job, brother. Good job. Attaboy, baby. But they come here, man, to kick that ball. He was booting it too. So he could try to kick it out of the stadium a couple times. He's on a job hunt for sure. So I do like that. Other than that, that was about as good as I saw on our special teams, man. Ariza was inconsistent and outkicked his coverage a few times. And sometimes they covered badly. Which gave the Bills field position, which is also important in a game like this. When you're dealing with a team like the Bills, you cannot give them field position like we did. Too many return yards, and we didn't get enough on our side. That shouldn't happen. I'm sorry. It should not happen. This phase of the game has to be better. They have to be better. And this is somebody who used to be a special teams coach. I watch these jokers. I watch everybody out there. I watch their body language. I watch their effort. I watch their lane integrity. I'm watching it all. Here the shot came down, missed the tackle, gets back up, goes down, and makes the tackle after missing it. That's effort. And he's a tight end. So if you play defense and a tight end is going down there, first one that misses and gets back up and makes the tackle because he's shaking everybody else out, that's an issue. Got to do better than that. Because the other guys that's out there covering, y'all get paid to tackle. Y'all defensive guys more so than anything else. Now I'm gonna say this. I think part of this of being an ego and people crying and stuff like that might be some people that's playing special teams that feel like they need to be playing more in on defense or offense. I do believe that. So it could be anybody, but I think I recognize my eyes see what they see, and there is a lack of effort on some guys to go down and make plays, and it's very apparent the things that I'm seeing. And I know Dave and all those guys are seeing it too. Sometimes you can't hide it. I don't care. You can sit there, act like you're giving effort, act like you're running hard. Coaches ain't buying that. I ain't buying it. I know better than that. Todd Tofree said Jay Williams has regressed on D and special teams can't block at all. Yeah, Todd, I see it. I agree with you. I don't think he's the only one. Like I said, I don't want to call guys out. I really don't. But there's got to be more effort. And they know who they are. Todd, I think you got good eyes. I think you see some of that too. I think Joshua Williams need to do a much better job on special teams so he can get back there on the field. You want your place on defense, you got to earn your spot. That's how it works. And some of those, and I got told this when I was in Philly. And the special teams coach at the time said to me, he said, "Hey, Jason," he said, "I want you to understand that sometimes playing special teams will help your argument of getting plays and reps in the game. If you don't think those things are intertwined and coaches don't talk about these things, we do." I was like, wow, okay. And I remember that conversation vividly. It's my special teams coach saying that to me. And I was a starter. I started up in Philly, Marcus. I was a starting tight end. Second year, I was kind of getting worked in and stuff. I'm like, yo, man, and I had grumbled a little bit. Coaches see those things. They see your body language. They hear you talk. They can hear all of that, man. They got ears everywhere and eyes everywhere. So, but our secondary had a hard time, man. But the special teams, I gave our special teams, I gave them a C-. That's what it was. Yeah.
Pretty rough.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
I'm curious to see where you have Tobe when we do the coaches' grades right after this in comparison. Because it's always interesting to see scheme plays versus with the product on the field. So I'm curious to see how different you go with that.
Okay. So I'll start with offensive coaches first. Is that who you have? Andy and Nagy grade. So I'll just read off what I wrote. Okay. Didn't agree with most of the play calling tonight. Put the offense in precarious positions. Gambled on second and short, passing most of the night, which hurts the offense. The practical thing to do was hand the ball off to 28 Hunt, but it wasn't the game plan, and the entire offense paid for it. Better tempo and play calling would beat this Bills team by 2 touchdowns. We need to make better choices, not clever choices. That's when it needs to be done. Better choices, not clever choices. And I think Andy kind of alluded to that as far as like getting a little cutesy and some of the motions and all those different things. Hey, sometimes it just need to be vanilla. And I think we need to do a much better job putting guys in a position to make plays. And I think Andy agrees with me on that. Andy and Nagy both. So I gave those coaches on offense because it is dictated on them, the play calling. And the guys can only run the plays that's given to them, right? You got to. I gave them a C-. That's why I gave the offensive coach a C-.
Better, not clever. That's an amazing. I love that one. I've never heard that before. It's pretty good though. I like that.
You like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, make better choices, not clever ones. Right? You can be clever all you want to. Don't mean it's going to work out. Oh, you a clever one, right? Oh, okay. We'll see. So, was that a prepared statement? No, this is my notes I wrote down, Teron. It's my notes. So I'm just reading my notes off. Thank you.
Could have said it any better, JD, with the talking about our offense. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. You go through Twitter during games, sometimes everyone's like, "What the heck is going on here? Just run the ball. What are we doing?" Like, I think that when we got down that beautiful drive that we had on that one where Kareem Hunt was about to run it in, but oh no, they wanted to call a timeout to do some ridiculousness. Oh, what are you doing? I mean, even Pat, you could hear him on the audio saying, I got this. I mean, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's for sure. And so when you have questions come from guys, I mean, shoot, guys up front want to run the football. They don't want to be on the heels all night. Hey, man, you got to change those things. Give them the red steak. Give them the steak. Okay? Meat and potatoes, guys. Meat and potatoes. Vanilla. Okay? Vanilla. So let's go to the defensive side of football. All right? Defensive coaches and scheme. Spags and those guys had some really brilliant spots and calls, but sometimes we got caught with our hands dirty and in the cookie jar. And so players were a step slow on some assignments. Was that due to the inexperience or lack of clear communication? Needed to pressure Josh Allen more and disrupt his play. Should have called a blitz and spy at the end of the game on 4th down. Play sticky D for that one play, and the Chiefs more assuredly win this game. That's what I had. Okay. I think Spags called a pretty decent game. I thought he called a good game. Guys just gotta perform. They gotta execute. Pure and simple. So I write a scheme up. If I think a guy has the ability to do my scheme, I'm gonna put him in position to be successful, right? We got young guys on defense, especially at the corner and safety position, that come in and play, right? We're talking about Hicks, Connors, all those different things that you see. Najee on the outside as well. And sometimes when you're trying to communicate with these guys, it's not clear what they know what their assignment may be, but being called in because you're doing a lot of switching and motion and whatnot changes things on guys. And so guys can get confused immediately, especially if your leverage changes from outside to inside. Same thing. I seen Reed, I wanted to show that one too. Oh, it'd been beautiful. But they ran a 3-by-1. It was cover one. They came down. Najee took the guy, man, he ran a whip route. The other guy, I think Connor had, ran a corner, but he let it go so Reed could get him. But I'm sitting there thinking, we had 2 guys on 3. How does that work? Because the position that he was in put him at a disadvantage immediately. And matter of fact, that catch by Curtis Samuels got him down and kind of missed that tackle, got him down to like the 2-yard line. Where the next play was Cook Cook running in for a touchdown. So the run defense was good. Yeah. I think gap integrity was good on that. They weren't really pushing us back on the run. I think everybody scraped and did everything they needed to do. I think they did a good job on the run defense. But as far as our scheme defensive wise, I gave our coaches a C. That's what I gave Spags. I gave him a C. That last series could have been better. But I'm gonna get, matter of fact, I'm gonna give C plus. C plus for Spags. C plus. Let me go ahead and change this thing right now. So just gotta execute, man. Gotta execute. Spags didn't play the sticks a lot, too much cushion. Yeah. But that's on the DB. You only give cushion where you need to give cushion. We ran cover 2. We got Curtis Samuel got behind. McDuffie. Now, here's the thing: when you run cover 2 or maybe cloud coverage, is like you can sink back a little bit, especially when you have nobody threatening in the flat. Sink back some, sink it back. And I think, when you see those little details and what you have to do, it's like, okay, I get it. I get it. So those are the things they'll go over it in film. I understand this. These guys are gonna get better. These guys are gonna get better. Teach did a nice job containing James Cook. Yes, they did. Did Chris? Good to seeing you, Chris. Good seeing you. Yeah, Buffalo did this game more than KC. They did, but KC's not giving up anything. Ain't like we just gonna go in there for a cakewalk. They just executed better than we did, and we made mistakes, turnovers, and penalties. But go ahead.
The ESPN, they do their stats thing, their predictor. If we won that game, I think we had like a 97% chance of clinching the number 1 spot in the AFC. But now that we lose that game, I think now we have a 53% chance to clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC. So, I mean, you could say record-wise, it was a bigger game for Buffalo, but still, it was a big game for us too, as far as if you're thinking long-term number 1 seed. So,
yeah, and we'll get there. Plenty of ball playing. Pretty ball player. Somebody came in last night. He was like, "Oh, well, they got the 1 seed." No, they don't.
No,
come on, man. Plenty of ball that need to be played.
No,
so
we can easily lose that 1 seed. We could try because it's still the 1 seed right now, and we could also continue to get that 1 seed. So it can go either way. Still, a lot of time left.
Mm-hmm.
It's a marathon season, exactly, Chris.
Sir. Yes, sir.
All right, JD. Now special teams with Dave Tobe.
So special teams. So I didn't even write notes for this one. Special teams come down to this. The guys that's in there, kickers, punters, long snappers. It's all about timing. It's about the fundamentals and technique. Those guys can handle that. That's why you kind of put the kickers and stuff onto themselves, because they're kind of self-sufficient in their own little, bubble on doing things. Okay, because it is just time and it's transaction. This is the way it should be done. And Dave can only put those guys in position to make plays. And it's lane containment, return what you're doing, is getting guys in position to maybe hold up a gunner or run out to your lanes. Or if it's attacking, holding guys up on the punt block and return. It's really on the guys. Special team is about effort. You can scheme certain things up, but it's on the guys getting in position to make the plays. Okay. I'm just going to give, coaching wise on Dave, I'm just going to give him a B, because you can't play for the guys. And if the guys there don't understand what needs to be done, and Pat said playing with an urgency, some guys need to be, you need to change some things up, because you can't compromise what will be field position, which can be pivotal in a game. And so it's unfortunate to see some of these things happen. But I'm sorry, man. Some of this stuff is unacceptable to some things I've seen on special teams, especially if you're not getting there and you playing. If you're not the main guy in there, you got to give all your effort, because your job is critical on special teams to get field position, whether it is stopping them or on the return to get McCall Hardman a little bit more room to breathe so he can run too. And it's not getting done. And I feel sorry. I feel for Dave. I feel for him. Bless you. I feel for him.
Thanks, man.
So I think Dave, man, I know he does a good job. Like I said, man, look, I could draw everything up on the board of returns or who you get your assignment. You may do some cross blocking here and there. Hey, man, who wants it more? Are you trying to get more reps in the field? This right here we'll do it. It'll get you more playing time. And you got to show the effort, okay, and say that you're worthy enough to get there. If you're not giving it, then daggone it, we can't use you. I can't use you out there in the regular field if you're not getting it done on special teams. Sorry, that's the way it works. So that's the truth. It's the truth how this thing works. So you can turn your nose up on special teams all you want. Guess what? You just turn it down. You get reps out there on the field too. So you make a decision. That's how it works, man. So Tobe gets a B from me.
That's about the will and want to and desire. It's why, you know, and the thing about special teams is it's all about effort and just knowing your role. And that's why, like, even this simple, forget the NFL, go back to high school. The guys who were on special teams were the guys who, you know, were going to know a role and be relentless out there and kind of stick to it. Be, you know, it's not a most athletic guy kind of thing. That's the one thing about special teams. No athleticism required here. Do your job, know your role, and get it done.
Period. That's as simple as you could possibly make it. And guess what? I will put that up on the screen every time. If you won't get on the bus, you want more playing time, it all starts here. When everything starts in camp and whatnot, you bring special teams in because you don't know what guys can do, even as a rookie. Hey, guess what? You want to make the roster? You want to make the team? You want to make a contribution on here? Do it on special teams first so they can tell you that you are worthy enough to get out here on this. You want to make the 50-year roster? This is how you do it. This is how you do it. And some guys think they're above special teams. They think they're above it. And that's part of the problem. And it probably goes into some of that ego talk that Andy's speaking about because they can see it too. So Dave Tobe was sitting there talking to Andy when they in the coaches meeting. He's sitting there saying, yep, I'm going to show you on film the lack of effort from this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy right here. Okay? Tell me why they deserve to play. I always remember that one video, the special teams coach from Atlanta that gave that speech. Talking about it's real apparent. Trying to get me fired. You know, how many rings you got? You got a gold jacket? You know, that video. That video. Yo, that one right there rings true. Because everybody understands if you sitting over here and you moaning and complaining because you only got 4 or 5 reps out there on the field, well, shoot, get all your reps right here. So a coach sees your effort. Now they can reward you. Because sometimes that's what it is. It's a reward system also, too. Sorry. It's just what it is, man. That's the league. You got to deal with it. Shoot. So.
But, you know, that's it. That's it. JD's grade report for week 11, guys. Now we're gonna do this grade book. We're gonna take it. We're gonna close it up. Now we're gonna open up the film study for Carolina because that's what we're on to now. We're on to Carolina now. Forget about Buffalo. We'll see Buffalo in maybe 2 months. Maybe 2 months. And everyone's saying we'll probably see him again. Yeah, we might see him again, but who knows? It's a marathon. You never know.
Yeah. So let me say this in closing, Marcus. This is going to be a good game for us to learn from. You look at the film, learn from it, take it all in, ingest it all. Okay? Work on our discrepancies, you know, our weaknesses, okay, and get better. And so I'm glad that this loss came when it did. That's fine. Who's saying we may move another one? We may lose another one before it's all said and done. Maybe 2 more, whatever it may be. But for us, it's all about getting better. The small things matter. And so if we getting better on the small things, communication, assignment, football, pass rush, all those different things, we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. And like Andy said, he says it better than I could ever say it is. He's got the right mix of guys in the room to get those things done. Now, if he decides to go pick up a couple of guys because they feel like that's what they need, they've done a great job. You know why? Because their track record says they do it. That's what they've shown. So I'll keep reminding people, we are the defending Super Bowl champs. We have 2 in a row. We're going for number 3. And so people could say The first Super Bowl that Pat won, and he's got 3 so far, but the one, oh well, we ain't got enough to win. Well, they proved them wrong. Last year, oh, they ain't got enough to win. What are they gonna do? Prove everybody wrong. So I'm in it for the long haul, Marcus. I'm in it. So there could be doubters and people crying and he in the hall and stuff like that. Man, get yourself together. Get it together. Get it together. Can't do that. Hey, it ain't about that. It ain't time to cry. It ain't time to shut it down. It's not that time, Marcus. It's not that time. Okay? Pick yourself up. Let's go. Okay? Rub some dirt on it. Let's get it going. So, yes, Neff says special teams control the game for position and points. Absolutely.
It's huge.
Very important. Very important. But we're going to be fine. So all these other people out here talking, look, you ain't going to hear the sky's falling, Chicken Little over here. You're just not. You know why? Because I know what these things is about. Been in the locker room. I know how we think about these things. Okay? It ain't the end of the world. And, you need to go get different people. Sure. There's some things you need to address. You think they don't know that? That's what gets me. It's almost like the team don't know what they need to address. Like, I'm gonna give you some. Hey, coach, can you? I'm gonna write this in. Hey, look, I'm gonna leave this on your door. I'm gonna fold this thing up real good, and I'm gonna slide it into your door. Okay, just take my suggestions. Go ahead, try it. Andy might take it. He said he's wide open. Give him some plays to draw up. Okay, send some things to him. Put it on a smoke signal, or if you want to use the bird call. Woo, on the pigeon, okay? Whatever you want to do. Go ahead and do that, all right? But I know these guys going to figure it out. They got they got everything in there that they need. They're going to be all right. Andrew said it best. Only the strong survive. And the Chiefs have been the strongest this entire time for the past 5 years, okay? Ain't been nobody better than us. And so I don't see why they won't continue. So,
yep.
But
Mob deep, man.
Ooh!
Survival of the fittest. Only the
I love
strong
it.
survive.
Come on, man. Don't say Mob Deep till they know Mob Deep. I don't
What's
know if
that?
people know Mob Deep. I don't know
They
if people know
should.
Mob Deep. They should. Some people know Mob Deep.
With our demographic on the show, I think people will definitely know it. They know stuff that I don't even know going back way before my time.
Yeah, some will. Yeah, good reference. There, yes, Mob Deep. Yes, sir. Okay.
There you go.
So.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for us, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed JD's grades as always. It's especially after a loss, it's nice to kind of go back and dissect everything on there. But yeah. So again, we will be back Wednesday night for our preview for the Carolina game because we're done with this Buffalo game now. It's on to Carolina, so we'll kind of go over that. But yeah, before JD closes it out here, just want to say we have about 400 people in the chat right now. So amazing to have that many people in the live right now on a Monday after a loss, especially during Monday Night Football. We're competing with other things going on, JD. We got the Monday Night Wars over here.
Man, hey, look, they know they're gonna come in here and go get some truth, baby. We're gonna lay it down straight. Okay, we straight up and down like 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is where we at, baby. That's it. You're gonna get the truth. Okay. And it ain't gonna be this emotional. We're not doing that. You're not doing that, man. Okay, the guys are not doing that.
For sure.
So,
but yeah, I just want to, with 400 people in the chat, I just want to make sure if you guys haven't already, definitely help us spread the word of our podcast, but give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts anywhere you get it. It'll help us amplify our voices out there for other people who don't know about Chief Concerns. But yeah, just wanted to say that. But JD, take us away, brother.
Hey, listen, man. Look, everything's gonna be okay. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. Hey, we are still the champs. We are still the best. This right here means something, okay? That means champion, okay? Spells it like that every single day. So we'll let the Bills have their little victory. Good game, Bills. Y'all won the game. Okay? But we beat ourselves, pure and simple. We're going to be all right. When it boils down to it, we know we got the best team in football. We got the best fan base in football too. And that's why we love you. We love this, Chief Concerns family. Y'all coming out. Everybody that came in the show, appreciate y'all. Send us whatever. We come out here, man, we talk about it. So we on this live. Y'all want to come and say something over here, man? Please. We'll show over there on the side. We'll talk to you because we love engaging. We love engaging. But hey, man, we're not gonna pull no punches with nobody. We're gonna be straight up. We're gonna support these guys through and through. Okay, so that's what it's gonna be. We're gonna be all right. So Neff, appreciate you so much. Good show, Marcus and JD. Appreciate you, Neff. Appreciate you. Listen, I'm gonna say bye to everybody that I see right now in the chat. G Pick, Neff, Chris Pomay. Appreciate you, Chris, showing up. Mike Brennan, Kansas City area youth. Andre Chanel, Talto Free. Appreciate you, Vegas Chief Kingdom. I'm the Brown, Joe E, Brenda Pike, Greg Rose, D'Amico Spence, Macheco, I think of D'Amico, G Pick, Greg Rose, I might have said it already. Sarah 73, thank you so much. Chief again. Let me see who else we got. Ray 028. Appreciate you, Ray, coming in. The ones that came in early and throwing all that old shade and stuff, man. Appreciate y'all too. Okay. We'll take it off. About time. Good seeing you, brother. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Let me see. Who else we talking about? Mike Brennan. Let me see. I'm trying to roll up here, man. We got some good things coming in. Kevin Mars. Let me see. I see Clutch Code in here. So, listen, Teron Young, thank you so much, Teron. Brenda Pike, Gary Holland, Richie Hall, good seeing you as well. Listen, we didn't get to say your name. Melly Matrix, good seeing you as well. Who else was on here? You know, we didn't see Don Peterson was in here. We didn't see Newt. Newt didn't come out tonight. He didn't come out. Newt. That's all right. Okay. Newt, next time, brother. Listen, y'all know what it is. Listen, we love y'all. Y'all take care. Chiefs guys are here. Kathy Welch. Appreciate y'all. Lawrence as well. Thank you so much for showing up, engaging. We'll come talk to you all on Wednesday. We'll be talking, moving to Carolina Panthers, but the things that's coming in, we're going to be cooking it up. We're going to be talking about these things, whatever. Listen, love you guys. You know how we feel about you. We all heart, soul, and mind here with Kansas City. It's what we believe, baby. This is who we are. So, Marcus, my brother, listen, love you. Everybody out there, love you guys. Okay? Y'all got anything? Y'all hit me up, shout at me, and we keep this thing moving. Okay? These guys going to keep them rolling. So,
yes, sir. Love you too, brother. And love everybody in the chat. And we'll see you guys Wednesday night for our preview of Week 12. Take it easy, everybody.
All right, man. Y'all be good. God bless y'all. See y'all later.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.